Shalom, shalom. All praises to Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, which is just a title. By Hashem Yahweh Shai, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. On behalf of the House of Israel, HOI, House of David, preaching the gospel across the four corners, in all sincerity, in all truth, with all meekness and humility. Shout out from HOI Atlanta. Let's get it in. Brother Dawad. Just want to encourage you, brothers, to endure until the end. Because the time is near. If you really got ears to hear and eyes to see, spiritual eyes to see, then you understand, man. When you're looking at the signs and the time, according to the scriptures, you know that the time is nigh, man. It's high time to awaken out of thy sleep, to wake up to your true nationality, to the fact that you are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, from Genesis to Revelation. You are God's chosen people. If you fit the curses that you find in Deuteronomy 28, from the first chapter all the way to the 68th chapter, which the 68th chapter, Salakia says the children of Israel will go into slavery on ships, and they'll be sold to their enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. So that's how you identify. If your ancestry goes back to slave ships, the slave ships basically dropped the Israelites off throughout the four corners of the earth, man. That's not just here in America. You got South Americas. Israelites are everywhere. You got Puerto Rico, you got Cuba. Israelites are scattered everywhere. And if you really want to get a further understanding, a little more in depth of an understanding of the characteristics, the blessings and the curses, aside from Deuteronomy 28 chapter, then you also want to dig into Genesis, the 49th chapter. Read all of that. And then add unto that Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter. And everything you read in there should make it very, very plain to the children of Israel. And there's really no way around it if you believe in the Bible. So, the people that don't understand that, don't understand the curses of Deuteronomy 28, well, you don't understand it because the Most High hasn't given you the understanding. So, it's a time for all things. Sometimes you can debate that cause. Sometimes you just got to let people go, man. They want to be hard-hearted and stiff-necked and dwell on a certain thing that's contrary to what the Most High has in His Word. They just might be the wicked, man. That might be your friends. That might be your family. That might be your children. It might be your spouse. The Most High waking people up, man, and He not waking up their family, man. That's just how He doing it, man. It might be 10 people in the house. He just woke you up, and nobody want to deal with you all of a sudden because you look like a weirdo, man. Not eating bacon sandwiches and wearing your fringes, man. Going out to teach on the Sabbath, man. Spreading the gospel because it's a fire shut up in your bones, man. You look like a weirdo to the world, man. Because Mark 13:13 say, "You shall be hated of all men for my name's sake," right? But he that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Man, let's get that real quick, man. Let's open up with that. We're going to flow in the spirit. I know brothers is having a tough time, man. You're just feeling like, you all alone. Some brothers is waking up to this truth, man. They ain't got no camps around them. They ain't got no brothers around them. Some brothers feel like they don't need a camp. Well, the Most High did say, gather yourselves together, though. O nation not desired, man. Zephaniah 2:1, man. So, But if you just don't have nobody around you, man, then you got to be the light around it in the darkness that you're in. You know what I mean? Instead of just being sad about the fact that nobody's around you, you ain't got no brothers you can fellowship with, you got to be the one to hit the highways and the byways, man. Matthew 22:9. You got to go bid them to the marriage, man. That's what He commanded us to do, man. That wasn't really an option. You don't want to be found with no works, man. You want to be found having been busy. Because he said, I know thy works and thy tribulation, right? We're going to get that next too. Matter of fact, we're just going to cover everything I just hit, man. I'm just going to touch on it. So let me get that Mark. Mark 13 and 13. Let's turn it out real quick, right? So Mark 13 and 13. Of course, this is talking to the children of Israel. But for those of y'all that don't understand that, that's exactly what it is, right? So, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. So what does that mean, man? That literally means if you're doing what the Most High has called you to do, man, you're doing what Yahweh has commanded in these scriptures, man, you're going to be hated, man. You're going to be hated by your family. You're going to be hated by your best friend, people that you thought was your ride or die. People you thought would never turn their back on you, man. Hey, let's wait till your Edomite friends, man, find out the salvation is only for you, man, and God hates them. Let's see how much they love you do. They're going to bail on you, man. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, obviously the end is not here. That's why he say endure. Heaven and earth haven't passed. I don't see no chariots, blocking the sun. He that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So the Most High already understood the affliction that his children would have to go through, man, waking up in these last days, coming into the truth of their heritage, to the truth of who they are. He knew that, man. That's why Job had to go. Job actually represents spiritual Israel, man. Which spiritual Israel is not in the Bible, but Job is a spiritual representation of what Israel would have to go through, man. We would just be born into this affliction and not know why until we came into the understanding, until the Most High opened our understanding that we are the children of Israel. You know, Job was afflicted. He lost his wife. What's he say? Curse God and die. Lost all his kids in one day. Lost all his cattle. But at the end of Job's story, what happened, man? He got blessed with more children, man. And he got blessed with more, man. So that represents the kingdom, man. We're being afflicted for a short while right now. This thing is not going to last, man. But he is calling us to do the works, man. We got to do the works. So faith without works is dead. You can't just sit here and say, I got faith in, the Most High loves me. I got faith that Yahweh Shai is coming back, but you're not putting in no works, man. You just watching videos, eating your popcorn, man. You know, got your bowl of ice cream, kicking it on the Sabbath, but you're not doing no works, man. If you're a man in this truth, man, you're supposed to be working, man. How are you working? You're supposed to be spreading the gospel, man. By any means necessary, man. If you can't hit the highways and byways, hey, technology, there's no excuse. You got Instagram, you got Snapchat, you got Facebook, you got YouTube. The list goes on and on. Stop making excuses, Israel. Get your butt off the floor, man. Put the PlayStation down. Get off your Xbox. Go do the works. Let's go to the next one, man. Let's just show you that the Most High, man, he planned all of this. He already knew what you'd be going through, right? Let's go to Isaiah 48 and 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. So how do you refine something, man? How do you refine gold? When you first get a hold of a piece of gold, man, it's not as beautiful as it is when you go to purchase it from the stores, right? You got to purify that thing, man. You got to purge that thing by putting it through the fire, man. The hottest furnace of a fire with the highest of a degrees that you could possibly put it at. I don't know the actual temperature, but I know it just ain't no fireplace hot, man. It ain't just no oven hot, man. So your walk down here is not going to be just oven hot, man, fireplace hot. Most High is purging his men, man, his saints. So that means you're going to go through the hottest hell fire possible, man, while you walking on this planet. while you walking in this captivity, I should say. Ain't gonna be no little fire, man. Ain't gonna be no little heat. It's gonna be scorching, utterly painful, worst feeling ever type of scourging, man. You know, brothers being ripped apart from their families, losing their kids, sisters all alone. You know, you wondering when you're gonna get a husband. I mean, and those ain't the worst of the worst. People being afflicted with sickness, man, disease, man. Afflicted on the job, wondering why you got to report to your enemies every day. You know, why does your enemy get to tell you when you can have lunch, man, and when you can go home, when you're supposed to go to sleep? That's hell, man. We being refined in the furnace of affliction, right? I'm gonna read that again, man. Isaiah 40:10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction, man. So if you're going through something, man, it's really, really challenging and tough right now, the Most High is dealing with you, man. You know, you're not living loftily, man. You're not just kicking it in the mansions, driving the Bugattis, man, riding around Hollywood, man, living the good life, house on the hill, overlooking the ocean. No, man, you scrambling to pay this month's rent, man. That's hell. You literally living check to check. That's hell. Trying to figure out how to feed your babies. That's hell. Trying to pay child support, subject to payments. Not sure you'll be able to do that this month. That's hell. So if you're dealing with that and any worse than that, the Most High has chosen you, man. That's a gift. That should be a gift to you, man. That should be a wonderful feeling, man. Count it all joy, man. Count it all joy when you're hated. Right? Let's get that real quick. I think it's let's go to St. John, right? John 15:18. It's a lot. So let's pull that real quick. All right, John chapter 15. St. John chapter 15. Where am I at? Okay, 18. There we go. These Roman numerals be chopping me up sometimes, man. Alright, so St. John chapter 15:18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. So that's self-explanatory, Israel. If you everybody's chosen, man, Most High might not be doing this, man. You're not speaking the truth, man. Because the truth make people scatter like roaches, man. When the truth come out, the light come out. And everybody that run away from the truth is living in darkness. So when the Bible come out, hey, them rats gotta go. You're a stench. You're an abominable thing, man, to a wicked man. And righteousness is an abomination to the wicked, man. I'll try to find that before we go. I think that's in Proverbs. So. But back to the point, you know, the Israelites, man, God's chosen people are being tried in the furnace of affliction right now. Let's further prove that a little bit more. Let's go to the last book, man, Revelation 2:9. Pull that real quick, right? So Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. Who is this, man? This is John the Revelator, man. Right? This is God talking to Yahweh talking to John the Revelator. Right? He said, I know thy works and thy tribulation. So what are your works? Your works are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Your works are teaching your people their true nationality. Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, you're coming back to your heritage. You're bringing your people back. By any means necessary, you're teaching this gospel. By whatever means that the Most High has provided for you, you're teaching this truth. You might be in a wheelchair, can't leave the house. Well, again, you got technology, man. You got social media, man. You could be doing videos on your Instagram post, man. You ain't got an Instagram, set it up. You could be posting daily just scriptures on your Facebook, man. So we got to use these things that are available to us with the time that we have left, man. Because when Yahweh Shah returns, man, you don't want to be found without no works, man. Because he's going to take away from they that have the least, man. And the ones that have the most, he's gonna add unto them. That's the parable of the talents, man. So you want to be found with works, man. Because your reward in the kingdom of heaven is going to be a direct reflection of the work that you put in there. You know? How did you love your brothers, man? If you love your brothers, if you love your people, man, you're going to snatch them out of the fire, right? Hating the garments that they clothed in, man. The garments being the doctrines of wickedness, man. Not knowing who you are, right? Let's get that real well. Let's finish this off. So I know thy works and thy tribulation. Again, the Israelites are going to be going through trying times, man. We're not going to be living loftily and comfortably. Why? Because our reward is later. But the good thing about that is this is temporary, man. Your reward is going to be forever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever is what Daniel said. Ain't going to be no end. You're going to be in rulership forever. That should be a wonderful thing, man. It should be a wonderful thing to know that you're going to be delivered up, man. They're going to kill someone, like the scripture says. That's not a scary thing to the men of the Lord, man. Let's get that real quick, man, because I think a lot of brothers forget that part right there, man. Bear with me just a moment. Let me pull that real quick. Let me see. Here we go. Mark 13 and 9. Salakia. Let's start here. Matthew 24 and 9. Right? Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted. See that word again, afflicted, man. Israelites are afflicted, man. Again, if you're not dealing with anything, Most High might not be dealing with you, man. Most High willing, in the season to come, he'll wake you up before this thing really pop off. But my point is, if you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments as of right now, you going through some shit, man. You being afflicted, man. And it ain't no easy, comfortable thing, man. But our hope and our glory and our faith in Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua is that this is only temporary, man. Right? We believe that, right? So check it. Matthew 24 and 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted. That's really going to be when you see when that martial law kick in. They're going door to door taking your guns. Concentration camps is in full effect. You got the guillotines in full effect. They're heading people, man. They're going to be beating you. That's what this is talking about, man. They coming for the children of Israel, man. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. Hey, some of the brothers going to have to die for this truth, man. Some of you sisters going to have to die for this truth. So when you get that knock on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning and you just wake up with the spotlight and the AR-15 in your face, man, hey, it's game time, man. This ain't the time to be tucking in your fringes. This ain't the time to be fearful, man. To be unsure. A lot of brothers falling out of the truth right now, man. It's an exciting thing, man, to see people falling out of the truth for the people that really love Yahweh, man, that want to keep these commandments. You know why? Because that's prophesied. So we see the prophecies unfolding right before our eyes when you was an Israelite, and all of a sudden it's folly to you, man. The Most High, hey, turned you over to a reprobate mind, man. The Lord did that. Doesn't he do all things that are just and righteous? Does he do anything on accident? There are no accidents. It's a righteous thing to see people falling out of the faith. Most High willing, he might have mercy, bring some brothers back, but the 2/3 must get full, man. Most High willing, I'll be counted in that 1/3 number. Most High willing, I'm the hopeful elect. I think all brothers want that. Some brothers you do here say, hey, I just want to make it into the kingdom. I don't want to just make it into the kingdom, man. I want servants and handmaids galore, man. I don't want to just make it in, but he said we shall scarce make it in, man. We're going to barely make it, though, That's how bad it's going to be, man. We're going to be at the point, though, of really wanting to give up, man, when Jacob's trouble reaches that zenith, man. It's going to be, we ain't seen nothing yet, man. That famine of the word ain't really popped off like it's about to, man. But it's on the way. So check it. Let's get that again. Matthew 24:9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and they shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Same thing as Mark 13:13. Same thing. Mark 13:9, where we just were. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogue ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake. Most High doing all of this affliction to his chosen, man, so that he can get the glory, man. So that he can get the glory, for a testimony against him. I'm going to read it again, Mark 13:9. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before the rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. That's a beautiful thing, Israel. Mark 13:11. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak. Neither do ye premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye. For it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Ghost. Right? Let's grab another one, man, just to show you, man, that you're not alone in this thing, Israel. All your family's being afflicted, man. Isaiah chapter 53:3. For those that say, the Messiah wasn't spoken of in the Old Testament, man, here you go. He is despised and rejected of men. Well, didn't he just say if they hated you, they hate me? Same thing, right? They hated me, so they're going to hate you, right? When we read John 15:18, right? So Isaiah chapter 53:3, he is despised, talking about Yahushua, and rejected of men, a man of sorrows. I just show you, man, that the same afflictions Yahushua had to endure. Being hated is the same thing we're going to be dealing with. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief. You know what the word acquainted means? It means used to, comfortable. Not comfortable, but I've seen this before. This is a consistent thing, man. He is acquainted with grief. It means this ain't nothing new. Can you imagine? From the time he came into an understanding of who he is and what his purpose is, and going your whole existence, man, knowing that you're going to be beat to shreds at the end of your story. Like, how many of us know what our end is going to be like? How many of us know what our death would be like? Can you imagine that? That's a grievous thing, man. That's a grievous thing. But he also knew that after that, what was to come, right? Let me start over. So he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Yahweh, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Skip down to 7. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb, so he openeth not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgressions of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. That's a cold script right there, man. It pleased Yahweh to bruise him, man. You know, that goes beyond our human understanding, man. But our thoughts are not his thoughts, and our ways are not his ways, man. It pleased the Most High Yahweh to bust his son up, man. So what more say ye of yourselves? What more of yourself, man? The affliction that you're going through is a light thing compared to what Yahweh had to endure, man. So drink of this cup, man. And remember, we did this to ourselves, man. We truly can't be mad at nobody but ourselves. Because when we had the promises of immortality, we didn't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We wanted to do what the heathens were doing, man. Like many of us today, right? And what did the wicked Jews of that day say? Hey, we have no king but Caesar, man. Hey, deliver him up, right? Hey, them same spirits is walking the earth today. That's why he say, when he come back, every eye shall see him, and they that pierced him. Them same wicked spirits, man, that didn't want to do the will of the Most High back then, they the same wicked spirits today, man. Same wicked people, man. Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahweh shall prosper in his hand. Hey, ultimately, let's get this right here, man. Because I've heard people say, well, you know what? Who would want to serve a God, man, that was that cruel? Hey, this is the Most High's movie, man. How you gonna be just a paid actor? You gonna come into the set, you gonna come on the scene, man, and you gonna tell the producer how to film? You gonna tell the writer this shouldn't be there? Move these words around right here? No, man, you gonna get your ass fired, right? Isaiah 46:10, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done. It's been written already before, man. Saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. It's the Most High's movie, man. If you don't like it, get the hell on. Right? He the one that created the heroes. He the one that created the villains. He the one that created the extras, the people that's bringing food to the actors while they off set. You got the people in the parking lot directing traffic so it ain't chaotic out there. You got the people putting up the canopy so it don't rain on your head. People cleaning the floors, making sure the bathrooms. Hey, the Most High writing the movie, man. But you gotta have the faith. You gotta put in these works. You gotta trust that what has been written from the beginning, from Genesis through Revelation, is gonna happen. And you gotta keep the works, Israel. You gotta endure. And we'll close out with this. Short and simple, man. Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So when Christians tell you that you're saved from what? You still here in captivity, man. You still subject to payments. You still punching the clock. You still got to ask your boss when you dying sick, can you not come in today? You ain't saved from nothing yet, man. But he that shall endure the affliction, Israel. You're not by yourself, man. That's why the Most High gave us brothers and sisters, man. So that we could bear each other's burdens, man. We're supposed to bear each other's burdens. Last one, and I'm gonna end it on that note, man. Salaki, give me a second. If I can find it. Galatians 6:2. Galatians 6:2. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Yahushua. Self-explanatory, enough said. Love your brothers. Go ye therefore and preach the gospel, man. Tell your people they sins. If you love your brothers, pursuant to Leviticus 19:17, you're going to tell your brothers when they're going off. You're going to tell the people that don't know that they the children of Israel, that it's high time to awake out of their sleep, man, and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Creator, or you're going to be destroyed here in this wicked captivity, right along with whatever wicked captivity you're in, man. All praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments. HOY to the chariots fly. So, one.